Makeine Too Many Losing Heroines is easily the most shocking series of the year for me, bro. It was something I always had on my radar because it looked and sounded interesting, of course. The main reason being that the light novel at the time was rated pretty low. I have to stop judging a series by the rating, but the series is one that I have absolutely fallen in love with, and I want to talk about it. So this story follows Nukumizu, our protagonist. He is very boring and bland. He has zero friends. He is the very definition of a background character. He is really just minding his own business until one day he witnesses Ana Yanami, one of the most popular girls in his grade, get quote-unquote rejected. And I don't really even call this rejected because she didn't ask him out. He just went for another girl. This leads to her essentially venting to him about her childhood friend, and it becomes basically a daily thing for them because she orders a lot of stuff at the restaurant, and that leads to him paying for her because she didn't have money to pay for it. So she goes to school every day with him and they eat lunch together and she brings him lunch. Ana, I would say, by the end becomes his best friend. Is that crazy to say? Don't get me wrong, I think that they are all great friends, all the losing heroines, but I think he and Ana connect the best together. Ana is in the same class as Nukumizu, and I think she by far has the brightest personality out of the bunch. She is funny as heck, and she eats a lot, which also makes for good comedy in this. She shows like zero interest in Nukumizu like at all, and I think that's a bit of the charm for the show. Next, we will talk about Lemon. Lemon is pretty bright too, but there's a huge difference with her and Ana. Lemon is also a first year at school and is the ace of the track team, so she is super athletic. She, I would say, is the nicest and most positive out of all three girls. She has a childhood friend as well who she had a crush on, much like Ana. The way she got rejected though was probably the worst in my opinion. She said without thinking that she loved Ayano while he had a girlfriend. This made things awkward, so she had to leave out of town. But although she hasn't fully gotten over him, she has still become friends with his current girlfriend because she still values the relationship that she has with him. She is also the most mature out of the entire group of the girls, I'd say, which isn't saying much. But lastly, out of all three main girls, we have Kamari. She is easily my favorite character in the series at this point. Funny enough, in the beginning she was my least favorite. She has grown the most out of all the characters to me. I'm so proud of her. She starts the series pretty antisocial, not being able to talk to anyone. Although she is still somewhat like this, we still see her try her hardest to overcome it. It's not a problem, it's just something that she lacks in. She is the funniest character to me. Ana is right under her, of course, but Komari's little sly remarks and the noises she makes are top tier. And out of all the girls, she is the only one who truly confessed. The other girls did it by mistake or something like sly happened. She did it like a boss. And she knew that she more than likely wasn't going to be picked over the vice president, but she did it anyways. So at that moment I woke up. I thought, is Ana really the best character in this series now? I just don't know, bro. But for the series overview, it's labeled a romance, yes. But is it really though? I would say yes. There are definitely romance elements. All in all, I think it should be labeled a comedy first, and that isn't a bad thing. I also find it kind of funny that all the girls have just the appearances and tendency for losing heroines. With Yanami, she is a childhood friend. They are usually the ones who are competitive, but they really never win, and she has blue hair. Lemon is a childhood friend as well, and Komari, just her personality. It's a type that us fans love, but we always know it's never gonna happen in the end. But there are high emotional moments, of course, in the series, with the biggest part coming to mind is Kamari in the 11th episode, knowing that the president and vice president are graduating soon and they're gonna leave the club, so she feels as if she really has to do majority of the things when it comes to the club by herself because she thinks that when her senpais leave, she will be alone. But Nukumizu said that he will stand at her side always. I think if anyone should eventually end up with Nukumizu, it should be her. The biggest appeal to this show is the original concept, and I've never seen anything like this. Three girls, all pretty good looking, might I add, all getting rejected by guys who they like, and I could argue that they look better than the girls that got picked over and have better personalities. But instead of focusing on their relationships, trying to get with these guys, we focus on them learning to cope with knowing that these guys chose someone else and then becoming closer and being friends in our group. With the main factor being Nukumizu, of course. He just so happens to be there every time something goes down with these girls, getting them to gravitate towards him for guidance or advice, or just to vent, even though he never really asked them to. But in the end, they all become pretty good friends. That's why it's hard for me to consider it a romance. Nukumizu knows that they are attractive, but it's like he shows little to no interest in them. but when it comes to the romance aspect, he is totally oblivious. It's a comedy first, most definitely. The side characters say the most off the wall stuff, like the nurse talking about just getting railed in the infirmary, referring to how the ceiling is the same as when she was in school. Just a lot of good stuff in this series. That was my short little review on Makeine, Too Many Losing Heroines. I hope you all enjoyed. Subscribe and like for more anime and manga videos. I will see you next time.